We say a very good morning to Maurice Cousins. Maurice, it says here pronounced Maurice. Maurice, good morning, how are you? Campaign Director of Net Zero Watch, my favourite man in the world.
Good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Nobody on Morning Glory believes that your son Robin was at the ice skate. I'm joking. Now listen, let's cut to the chase because we ain't got much time. Kemi Badenoch, who's playing catch-up with Nigel Farage, is today going to make a speech where she's going to say, and I quote, Labour is treating the North Sea as a relic of the past. We need to drill, baby, drill. I would put to you, yes, that is absolutely true. And on the day that the Greens announced their new leadership, sod the Friends of the Earth. But to me, politically, it's another example of Kemi Badenoch playing catch-up because Farage has said all of this already, hasn't he, Maurice?
He certainly has. What I would also say, I think we should sort of zoom out and we should congratulate her for actually coming out on this. I mean, I know how frustrating it is. Somebody who was very, very critical of the Conservatives over 14 years for their policies on oil, domestic oil and gas. But you know, it is important that we have senior figures across the political spectrum coming out and adopting energy realism. And yes, it absolutely is true that Nigel Farage has been, you know, at the vanguard of a lot of this. But I would also remind people that when Kemi was running for her first leadership bid back in, I think it was 2022, she was somebody who'd often spoken out against what she called unilateral economic disarmament.
I'm not. By the way, let me say this: I'm not pontificating or saying that that Farage is right. What I'm saying is there's a narrative here. She is right about this. She's also absolutely right about other things. This morning, Mark Francois, one of her MPs, said that he believes at the party conference they'll come out and say the ECHR. What I'm saying is, from a leader's point of view, she needs to have been quicker off the mark to win the argument in the minds and in the ears, if you like, of the British people.
Absolutely, and it's very frustrating that, you know, we are now sort of in September and she was made leader back in November, and you know, this is the first major real announcement on policy relating to sort of energy that we've sort of heard. But you know, we should you know, as I say, we should welcome it. You know, it's important. I think that, you know, there's some context for some of your listeners and viewers that you know, that the UK really is an outlier here when it comes to the North Sea. You know, both Norway and the Netherlands are exploiting are the ones that are sort of exploiting their oil and gas reserves for their own national benefit, and we are sort of maddeningly sort of trying to adopting a policy of sort of keep it in the ground, making ourselves reliant on other countries, exporting our national wealth at a time when we actually need to retain more of our wealth. We're transferring wealth to countries like Qatar and the United States and Norway.
Absolutely.
It makes absolutely no sense. Previous generations of sort of politicians really understood the importance of energy and took it as a proxy for sort of power and wealth, whereas in more recent decades ours have been far more complacent and don't appear to have put the national interest first.
It's refreshing working on a station like this to know that we have for 3 years spoken about the problems with immigration, the problems with net zero, all sorts of problems. And finally, it seems that politicians, and you're right, the more people across the political spectrum, Maurice, who come out and speak about these things, then that is a very useful point. I'm sorry it's a real quick one today, but you are the font of all information on everything net zero. We love having you on the show. Thank you. Maurice, very good man, Maurice Cousins, Campaign Director of Net Zero Watch, who also, like us, thinks that Ed Millipede is a nightmare.